This is Ron Higgins of the Shreveport Bossier Journal, and we just completed day 5 of LSU preseason practice. We even had about 20 minutes with Brian Kelly today, and we got to see probably about an hour of practice. Saw some 7-on-7, some 11-on-11. Saw LSU quarterbacks coach Joe Sloan conjugate the F-bomb word. That was interesting. Some things have kind of jumped out at you today. I mean, especially in 7-7, 11-on-11. LSU's, I guess, their defensive backfield is coming along. I mean, I felt today, especially in 7-on-7, they forced a lot of checkdowns from Jaden Daniels, a few from Garrett Nussmeier. Kind of dumped the ball away short several times. Also, I can't emphasize enough that LSU's tight ends, their tight end room is this. I mean, it seems like every time they have any kind of 7-on-7 or 11-11, it just stands out. I mean, their tight ends have 3 or 4 of them who can play. And if you read my story today on ronhiggins.com and in Shreveport Bossier Journal in the tight end room, you get caught up. Kamarian Pimpton today had 4 catches. 2 catches for 21 yards. I mean, Taylor 1 for 20. I mean, the tight ends are very involved in this offense. These are unofficial stats, by the way. I mean, Malik Neighbors had 4 catches for 49 yards. Lacey 3 for 61. Again, they dumped the ball off short a lot. Again, credit the defense, which is coming along, especially the defensive backfield. Zay Alexander, the Southeastern transfer, and Deuce Chestnut of Syracuse, who started a ton of games at Syracuse and transferred to LSU this past spring, has had to sit out because he was hurt. They're making a lot of progress in a hurry. Deuce Chestnut still kind of getting used to the heat here after the first second day out there. I mean, the media witnessed him getting sick, which wasn't great, but I mean, it gets that hot, you will get sick out here. And Brian Kelly is very cautious about getting his team used to the heat. Today they went a little bit longer. They usually try to have him out there for about an hour. Today, for an hour 15. And he's, I think, gradually going to lengthen that while being careful with the heat, not to, you have to really get guys sick from the heat and pass out. I mean, they give them a ton of fluids. They have ice baths. They have everything possible to prevent guys from falling out. But today he looked a little bit longer. As he said afterwards in his press conference, he knows it's going to be hot in Orlando for that first game, so he wants to get his guys used to the elements outside. And they went a little bit longer today. Some other things that stood out in the past couple of practices what we've watched. One, Mason Smith is, if you're wondering if he's fully recovered from his knee surgery that he had to sit off last year, he got hurt in the opener against Florida State the first drive. He's just in practice. It's tough to block him. I mean, honestly, he may have been the source of the fight yesterday that started because nobody could block the guy. He kept getting in the backfield, and it got to the point of being an aggravation. I mean, he's fully back. He's got that explosive step. He's stronger than ever. I mean, he's going to do a lot of things for LSU this year. He's going to help them a lot. Having him there really will take off, say, blockers trying to double team Harold Perkins at linebacker, because honestly, they can't afford not to double team Mason Smith. Honestly, he may say double teams all year. He'll be tough to deal with, but it's nice to have him back there. He wasn't there all last year. Makai Wingo came in from Missouri, was all SEC first team defensive tackle. Did a fine job. Good ball player. He'll be a good ball player again this year. But Wingo, I mean, not Wingo, but Mason Smith is just an absolute monster out there so far. And that's a good thing to see. Also, LSU's running back room seems to go on forever. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 backs, 9 backs. And as Brian Kelly said, well, we got one football, so we better figure out who that one back might be. Actually, probably 2 or 3 backs. You've had transfers the past couple of years. Logan Diggs, Notre Dame transfer, and transferred in this year. Last year, Noah Kane from Penn State transferred in. Played well late in the year. I think he ended up with like 10 touchdowns. Short yardage guy, but he's played well in the spring. When a few healthy backs in the spring went through camp, and he played well. Amani Goodwin's always been an explosive runner since he got here. John Emery Jr., the academic problems, you never know he's going to be in or out. And he's had problems holding on to the ball, but when he's good, he's pretty good. He seems to be back in a good frame of mind and trying to finish his career on a positive note. Josh Williams, the former walk-on who every year just goes out and plays football and puts a bunch of yards and does his job. We'll see if he starts opening game. Somebody who came back for the 3rd time. I mean, I can't imagine a guy being let back on the team for the 3rd time. And Brian Kelly said this is a place for second chances. This is the 3rd chance. Trey Bradford signed with LSU in 2020, played that season, transferred to Oklahoma the next year, came back last season. Came back last season. I think he played one game, and then not last season. Sorry, 2020. I get confused. That's right, in and out. He came back, transferred back from Oklahoma, came back and played in one game 2 years ago, and went through Brian Kelly's first spring practice last spring, and then last year just quit and then sat out. Well, he asked to come back, and Brian Kelly basically said, I'm not going to help you get back in school. You have to do it yourself. You have to do these things academically to get back in school, and then you have to be signed off by our strength coach that you're ready to play. And so far, Trey Bradford has met all of that. At LSU, he's played only 6 games, and in his 2 previous stints, and there's like 69 yards and a touchdown catch. But the point is, LSU's running back room is extremely deep and extremely talented. One of the better ones they've had recently. And then you throw in Jaden Daniels' running ability. LSU can get some yards on the ground. They really can. They can really get some yards on the ground. This offense should be tough to stop. It's a strong point of this team going into the season. And last year, you couldn't say that. Last year, you didn't know what was going on with this offense. And for half the year, you didn't know what was going on with the offense until Jaden Daniels overcame his fear of not throwing ball downfield. Once he did that, everything worked out well. But right now, I think Brian Kelly's pleased with what he's seen so far. You're only 5 practices in. There's a long way to go. Tomorrow, they're off. They're back at it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, when we'll get a chance to talk to Mike Denbrock, LSU's offensive coordinator. I believe it's Thursday, Yeah, maybe Thursday. Yeah, and then Matt House, I think Saturday we get a chance to talk to him. So we'll pass those interviews on to you as we get a chance to talk to him. So again, every day in practice you kind of pick up things and notice things in consistent areas of the team. And I think for the most part right now, a little less than a month out from the opener against Florida State, I think LSU is in a good place where they need to be. And right now where I need to be is out of the sun. Anyway, this is Ron Higgins, Shreveport, BossierJournal.com and TheRonHiggins.com, bidding you a good afternoon.